Well, g'day again. Here we are, right in the back area of the house. I just thought I'd show you what I've been doing here on the deck. I've oiled it. Took me a little while to go through and put oil on it. There's still a few little areas to fix up, but basically it's been waterproofed. I still have to put a second coat on. But it's looking stunning right now because the colour is absolutely beautiful. Don't know if you can see how beautiful that is, but it's nice and clean, and we're getting closer to having this area finished, which means I can do other things. Right here, I just thought I'd show you what I've been producing. This is about 5 days worth of tomatoes, and I've got to go through and freeze some more. I've got an awful lot frozen in the fridge. Just blanch them for 5 minutes and freeze them away, and there's so many coming. That one, and that one are basically one day. Anyway, I thought I'd bring you down just to show you a bit more of what's going on. Oh, you can see back there some yellow stuff. That used to be a big kayak. It's 25 years old, but it was falling apart, and the chooks, well, I lost one. But just to show you here, I'm about to pick some of these, but only half of them. These are the chilies. Very hot chilies, but there's an awful lot of red ones and I have to pick them, but the others, they're still coming on. There's another variety or two just there, which is quite interesting. And here the chives are going to flower. The tomatoes are producing tomatoes up here, as you can see. The strawberries, well, they've slowed down for the last couple of days, but this area I really haven't done a great deal with. Here we have the bell chilies, and they're even producing some. I don't know if you can see them clearly, but there's some green bell chilies all through there. And walking very quickly, I wanted to show you a couple of other areas that are going off. Bananas are going really well up here, if you can see them, and they're quite high. Lots more bananas coming through here. I'll have to go into the editing and make this very fast, but I probably won't do it. Over here, more bananas growing and producing, which is very nice. We're eating one bunch from another area, which is really good. I only ever get 4 or 5 sets or hands setting on the tree, but coming up here, still haven't taken that off that peach tree. But the starfruit tree, it's absolutely loaded and it's lost half the crop with all this heat. If I can go around, and we'll just go in here nice and tight, and you can see the starfruit forming. It's actually, look at all that starfruit through there. We're still going to have a massive crop, but if I were to show you the ground, it's littered with stuff. And we still have one pomegranate left on the tree here. Just doing a few different things at this moment. And if I go up here, I've got the potatoes. I've got 9 layers in the potatoes, which is quite good. And if I were to take this off, we've got potato plants growing here, and they're popping up everywhere, which is marvelous. But the netting is to stop deer and mainly kangaroos from getting to them at the moment, till I can build something a little bit more substantial. I've got green grass on here and a little bit of cow manure left, but the green grass will die off because of the way I put it on, and then I'll put on some more some mower clippings across the whole top, intending to build it higher and higher each time. As I said, there's 9 layers in that area. And as we go down here, I'm heading over to the pumpkins eventually. Oh, I didn't mention this because it was really sad. This is my bell apple. We didn't get a bell apple this year, even though it was a loaded tree. The birds assaulted it, and it happens about every 2nd or 3rd year that they come through. Now, here we go. I left these guys here. Sadly, these died. The trees died. And I've got to pick this fruit. This one will have fruit edible in it, this one probably won't. But They would be rock melons, maybe honeydew, a little bit funny in shape, but look here, what are they? They're rock melons or honeydew, and they're growing quite nicely on the fence. Over here we have a definite rock melon and a couple of little ones. A very small one has died up the top there, but they're growing. This has been a recovery to some degree, but if you look, most of my pots have died. The heat was dreadful. This particular one, he took off really nicely, and if I look down here on my little sign, it says honeydew, a female. Now, that's interesting. What do I mean by a female honeydew? Well, this area here was a big circle, and that told me that it was a female. Now, how did I know that? Well, you see, on pumpkins, I found on the Queensland blue and the greys, that if you have a big circle on the bottom, that's a female. And that female is where you'll get a plant that will grow multiple pieces of fruit. If you get the ones that are tiny, that's a male plant, and the seed, the fruit off that will be very sparse. So you look for that big circle on the bottom of them, and I found one on that particular tree there. Now, just going on here, the silver beet, we've been enjoying that. That's quite clever. Tomatoes, we've still got a crop and a half of tomatoes. This one here is Crazy John's green tomato, and that's the colour it goes when it's ripe. It's a champagne, and that is still growing well. There's another variety just next to it which is small and red, and we've got some beans coming in here. We've got lima beans. Now these will be here for about 5 or 6 years, so I've got time to train them and whatever, but they're beautiful lima beans. They're probably the Christmas or chestnut ones. They have a purple streak on them. All the corn's gone, all the sunflowers gone, but the tomatoes, this is 3 months and they're still producing. And we're getting tomatoes all the time. I've had to cook and freeze, and we're going to make some tomato juice, but if you look way over there, you'll see that the pear tomato has died off. Although if I were to show you down the bottom, it has reshot. But here's what I wanted to show you. Have a look at this. I've struggled through summer, but I've kept the pumpkins going, and the pumpkins like to climb trees like this one here, but look in there. Now that's a Kent pumpkin growing right there, and as I go around you'll see that things are growing quite well. In here in the center is some honeydew, but there's no fruit on that one. But if I were to look around a little harder, I will find, whoops, there's one there. That fellow is a grey, and over in that area, oh yes, there he is, way down in there, if you can see him. There's another Kent pumpkin, and they're all just starting to produce. I have hit them with some sulfate of ammonia type product to promote flowering. There's been lots and lots and lots of male flowers, but hardly any female flowers, and as a few have been coming through, and on the tips here you'll now and then see a female like this one just starting, and that will produce at least a flower head so that I can try to hand fertilize them, but they're going quite nicely. I have a little bit of training to do over there. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you what's going on at the moment. It's been a little while since I've come through. Here we have another pumpkin and some potatoes. They keep getting eaten by kangaroos, and I have to work out how to set up the netting a little bit better. Oh, this is something I need to show you. Have a look up here. We usually get 6 pieces of fruit off this Monsterio Delicio. Can you see how many pieces of fruit? There's the first 5. There's another 4 up there. There's 5 there, there's another 5 or 6 just here, and even more just there, and they're flowering all the time. This is because I improved the soil, and by doing that we will have an awful lot of Monsterio delicios. The Monsterio delicio is sort of like a banana, sort of like a passion fruit in flavour, and sort of like eating pineapple all in one go. They're very pretty, very beautiful flavour, but you have to wait for them to almost be ripe. Then you cut them, then you wrap them in paper, newspaper, and put them away in the fridge for 2 weeks, and they ripen properly at that particular time. Now, way up there, I don't know if you can see clearly that there are flowers up in my pomegranate. We've had 4 or 5 pieces of fruit off that this year. They grew last year and they ripened this year, so I don't know what's going to happen, but it seems to be holding some of the fruit. Last year I went up there that high and I hand fertilized. This year I'm not doing the hand fertilizing. I want to see what the results are going to be. Anyway, it's about time that I let you go. Thank you very much for coming back again. I'm hoping that there'll be even more produce showing up very soon, and I'm hoping that these guys here will start to produce again. It's about the right time for the choco vines to start producing again. They're growing nicely. In fact, look at this. This is a pumpkin vine growing up in here, and we have had 1 pumpkin off it, but that's about all we've got. That actually might be a watermelon. Okay, well, thank you again. And as I said, I will see you later. Bye for now.